See, we're on a roll now, so I had to fire up Audacity.
Makes sense. But yes, how if they took the mechanic from that and put it into a Sonic format, it would work perfectly. Like, I can see Unleashed working so well if they didn't have those big, bulky werehog stage night stages in there. They just took the speed, but then added an evil, dark, I don't know what to call it, like, just different dark form.
Yeah.
But you're able to transform at will between the two, depending on the situation that you're in.
Basically, kind of like Shadow's combat in 06, but with additional Shadow elemental abilities.
Yes, and less shitty of a game.
Yeah. So, for a bit of context, yeah, Sonic Boom, basically.
I'm thinking it's going to be complete shit. But I'm part of the Sonic fan base, so I kind of just have to go with my gut and what I believe a Sonic game should be.
So that kind of got us fired up, and then we started talking about how Sega has just completely screwed up left and right and center.
America completely screwed up. Japan's not screwed up as much. It's screwed up, yes. Yes, Sega Japan has screwed up. Not as much as Sega of America.
Yeah. My idea is that you actually can use the system that had been implemented in the day stages for Unleashed, as well as Colors and Generations, and it actually can't get stale. There's a lot of things that you can do, and a lot of other ways that you can implement it. Seriously, the boss fights alone are stunning and spectacular.
Since we're talking about Sonic games that really should be improved, I'm going to go with one of my favorite Sonic, even though technically it's not a Sonic game, it's part of the Sonic series, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I fucking love that game. I understand.
See, now that's a game that needs to be remade.
I absolutely understand why people hate it. But I loved it. Shadow the Hedgehog is my favorite character out of the entire Sonic universe. He's just so fucking awesome. But if they took what they did with Shadow the Hedgehog, I understand, honestly, how Shadow is like evil. Well, he is an anti-hero. He's good, he's evil. I can understand him using the guns. I mean, he's not afraid to kill. So I can see him using the guns. But maybe you should have like certain stages where you can use the guns, but have the other stages where it's speed and platforming like Sonic.
Exactly. But the
like
other
how Shadow originally was.
But the thing is that actually needs to be revamped isn't necessarily the whole Black Doom, Black Arms storyline. It's actually the level progression and the fact that you have to beat the game 10 fucking times in order to get the real ending.
That really pissed me off. I actually sat there and beat the game 10 times to get the true ending because I love the game so much.
You only need to beat the game 3 times. Light, dark, neutral, leave it at that. There you go.
Yes, not light, dark, or
say it upset you have.
Light.
Say it upset you have specific crossroad paths, specific branching paths within the story. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Just like say maybe 3 or 5. I don't know, like every other level, and then that determines your path. That determines where you go, and
I think that you only have that implemented in the first stage.
Hell,
like
give it to you one more time,
or stay neutral.
Give it to you one more time just before the end, before the final boss of the traditional story mode.
Good, bad, neutral ending.
Yeah, in the event that your actions have kind of steered you in the wrong path. So then it's like a last chance at redemption or a last chance to change your mind and be evil. And then by last story, you get to see the canonical choice that you made, and then go for there. If anything, just reveal True Dark up until that final moment, and then Shao decides no, and then booyah, hero. Because
villain.
Because in all honesty, I mean, Shadow was always the one to toe the line. Because
Shadow's one of those characters that always walked that line.
Yeah.
Always walked the line between good and evil.
Because he was created to do good.
Yeah.
But then
he was created to good, trained to do evil, decided to stay neutral. That's what I love about Shadow.
He helps when he can.
Yes, he helps if it's a dire need. But at first he was he was trained. He was taken in by Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik, whatever the fuck you want to call him, whatever canonicity or style you want to go by. In all actuality, Japanese called him Eggman. We called him Robotnik.
Yeah. I suppose, considering his grandfather is Joe Robotnik, that does make him Dr. Ivo Robotnik, a.k.a. Eggman.
Yes. But in the Japanese, they've always referred to him as Eggman. Except for when they did introduce his grandfather, then they called him by his full name, but always still referred to him as Eggman.
Well, yeah, that's his nickname, just like Tails' nickname is Tails.
Which is Smiles.
Yeah.
Did you actually know that originally Tails was supposed to be a woman?
Wait, that Tails was supposed to be female or an actual woman?
Female, sorry.
Yeah. Don't remind me of the...
Was originally supposed to be female.
Yeah. And I could totally see that being the case.
But they scrapped it because, I don't know, there's multiple different theories of why they scrapped it. My personal theory is that they scrapped it because they didn't want to implement any, feminine parts to them in the 2D, platformer game, so since they made a male there, they had to keep a male throughout the series.
It would also make the Super Sexy 69 even more uncomfortable. Everybody else.
We don't speak of that. Alright, another game that they could improve on, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I enjoy that game. Right now I'm actually, you guys know that there's a Let's Play going on at Blitz Media Gaming of it. I love the game. Absolutely love it. But if it was just about the Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, and Rouge stages, I don't mind the treasure hunting stages if they mixed it up sometimes, like they do in the speed stages. If they mixed up the treasure hunting stages, then it would be I would be perfectly fine. It's those robot stages that really throws off the whole flow of the game.
Okay, wait. Now, how many sections were there for the treasure hunting?
I think there was as many as the speed stages -1 or -2.
Still sounds like too goddamn many. 2 or 3 is enough. Seriously, make the game 80% Sonic and Shadow.
Yeah. Make it mostly speed, but have times where you take control of the treasure hunters where they have to help find the emeralds or find the pieces of the master emerald.
In fact, those can actually be interludes between the acts of the story.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Should be implemented around Sonic and Shadow, the speed stages, the stages where so much fun can happen.
Yeah, if you have to throw the mech shooting sections in, do them in the middle. I hate to go back to it, but kind of like the Amigo character system in 06. In the middle of the level, tag out, and now, there's roadblock or whatever. Tails or Eggman have to go and blow up shit, free up the area, and then Sonic and Shadow can get through.
Or they could have done something kind of like how they did with Sonic Heroes. Depending on the situation and depending on the level, you could be able to, not switch, but, bring in a friend, your mech or your digger, to help you.
Kind of like an assist.
With whatever you do. Yeah, assist.
Yeah.
So you can keep those elements, but keep it still mainly on the speed stages.
Yeah. Because it doesn't
Then there's
make...
06.
Now there were people talking about, oh, remake that game, remake that. To be honest, the story is actually shit. I mean, it could be better.
If they had more time, the story could have been better.
To be honest, to satisfy everybody else, you should have made Elise into a mink or whatever.
They should have made Elise into one of the characters from the Sonic universe, not a human.
You know, if she was an animal like them, then it wouldn't have been that bad. It just would have been
It would have been less creepy.
You know, it would have been a whole lot of fangirls still mad because now there's another character getting in the way of their one true pairing, but it would actually ease all the tensions from a whole lot of other people. Especially if you would then give Elise more characterization.
And also, I would say give Blaze and Silver a bit more depth into their character and into their future. Into the future that they came from.
Do more with them, period.
Yes. Like, Silver, alright. I give Silver a lot of shit because he's basically the Trunks of the Sonic universe. And Trunks is one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z. And that's what I liked about Silver. He travels through time to save the future. I think that is I think that is a brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's absolutely brilliant.
I had like this whole long ass, I wouldn't call it a rant, but it was more like a big tangent that was actually about how Silver could have his own game. And I was actually going to be, I was actually going to go over that. If you played the ROM hack called the S Factor,
yes.
then you'll see how Silver can play in a 2D Sonic game.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind him being still in the 3D Sonic games. Give him his own game. Give him.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm just pointing out that, see, it can be done. You can utilize Silver in a game without necessarily throwing everything else at him.
Yes. One thing about 06, Silver beats Sonic. Shadow beats Silver. So that means Shadow's the best out of the three hedgehogs.
Well, he's the most violent out of the three as well. He's the better fighter.
Well,
Silver's not good. Silver's not good in actual hand-to-hand combat. He's the ranged attacker.
He's made for an assist. Like, if you take Shadow as the character and have Silver as an assist, that would work really well. Like, Shadow as an upfront attacking while Silver's standing back using his telepathic abilities to help Shadow from afar.
It's very obvious during the Solaris Phase 2 fight. Sonic just dashes straight into him. Shadow throws Chaos Spears at him. And then Silver is actually catching back the attacks and throwing them back. That would have actually been the most awesome 3-player experience ever.
Oh my god, if they made that into 3-player, one controlled Sonic, one controlled Shadow, one controlled Silver into a brawl-type battle.
I'd be all over that. Seriously, just nothing but meteors just coming at you and all sorts of like shadow balls and crap. Silver has to
Shadow
block.
would be launching everything. Sonic would be weaving through shit. Silver would be throwing them back at him.
Seriously, Silver will pretty much have to guard for Sonic and Shadow as they maneuver past that to actually get to his weak spot. So
that's what they need to make. They need to make a Sonic game where it's those three hedgehogs doing an adventure.
Yeah.
Not like 06. 06 was shit. Something better.
Seriously, it's very freaking possible. And the boss battles that they went and revisited and fixed in Generations prove that. That was the Silver fight that we should have had.
Yes.
And I didn't even get to mention that because at the time that I started recording that tangent, that hadn't came out yet. And that was how I envisioned it. And then, booyah. Because I was like, if they did like Unleashed, and then boom, they showed it. was like, oh my god, yes. Why didn't
Honestly,
you do that?
If you take Sonic's, like, Daytime Unleashed, take that game mechanic for Sonic, take Shadow the Hedgehog mechanics, make it a bit faster, make it a bit more
Less tedious.
combat based, give that to Shadow, and then keep Silver's like combat system from 06, but improve on it, and then put those three into the same game.
Okay, we're gonna have to go into it now because I was gonna do it anyway. This is probably gonna go on both our channels then. Sorry, Scruffy. But okay, fine. It's tangent time. The Silver game. I'll go into like the plot and all that later, but basically everything that you got to see him do, you can do that. It's going to be limited, and it's going to kind of be like an RPG. You get to level it up.
Kind of like how they did in Black Knight.
Yeah. Like, the more enemies that you defeat and the faster that you clear a stage, the more points that you get that you can spend on enhancing those moves. You can actually, in fact, actually speed up Silver a bit. I know he's wearing those boots, but damn it, he can still run.
He's part of this. In this universe, the hedgehogs are supposed to be fast.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, Amy, depending on the game, is fast or slow. But
remember, in Heroes, Amy was the speed character.
Yeah, maybe she's holding back. But basically, you can have Silver, do like a charge up, so that then he can actually run fast, or maybe that he can actually start to kind of fly a little bit, hover off the ground, and
that's how I was thinking that Silver's speed could really like increase. Yeah. Sonic, he runs fast. Shadow, he has those special hover boots. Silver should be able to use his telekinesis to make him at least float,
Silver can freaking
so he can
glide.
keep up with the two.
Yeah.
So he can at least keep up with the two, keep increasing his speed.
Considering the damn cutscene, the very first cutscene, Silver does like a freaking dragon dash, like dragon homing, in Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. I'm like, now how the hell? Really? You can do that? You can do like the Superman, like Sonic Boom type of takeoff.
How come we can't do that when we're controlling you?
His flight time is real short too. Why?
I understand.
I
don't understand that.
It can break the game, but if you actually make it twice as or maybe 1.5 times the drain, like 1.5 less of a drain, it actually wouldn't be that much of a hassle. You wouldn't be able to break the game completely. It's not like Sonic's gems.
Oh my god.
Seriously. I don't know how they messed that up. Well, it's kind of obvious. I mean, it didn't get programmed properly. Yeah. As
I was saying with the whole game, which implemented all three of them, once you get all the Chaos Emeralds, you can do basically what Sonic and Shadow did at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, where they both went super. We should implement a Super Silver, a Super Shadow, and a Super Sonic, where you have to rotate between the three, kind of like how they did in 06.
And also like they did in Battle, SA2 Battle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like how they did in that, but not in like a flying space stage like they always do. No, like do it like a ground, kind of like how they did in 3. Like how you're able to transform at will, and so you can go through the stage.
Huh.
Or even if you can't implement it for them to go it at will, at certain points, at certain stages, have them go it so you can get through certain parts and use their special abilities in their super forms.
I say do it like the Unleashed Day stage bosses.
I can see that.
It makes more sense.
I can definitely see that. Yes.
And then to make things more dynamic, you can actually switch camera angles to 2D. And so now you have to kind of jump over some things or plow through them or whatever. Double jump, homing attack, and then just keep going. Camera then like flips over top side, isometric style, and then there's like the behind the hedgehog camera, it's just, yeah. And even the one that's in front of them, it's not that hard. You've proven this already.
Yeah.
So that's how you can kind of switch it up a bit so that the battle isn't exactly repetitive. Now you have obstacles to dodge. Now you have homing attack chains that you have to hit in order to get over a bottomless pit so that you don't die and you can continue the fight.
Mm-hmm.
We could sit here for hours just going over all the possibilities that they could actually go for.
Honestly, we could sit here for hours talking about an entire game where it would basically take all the good elements of the Sonic games and implement it, or improve some of the bad elements, implement them as well. We could make a whole game if we really sat here and did it.
We could do that for practically anything.
Yeah. It doesn't help that it's 1:18 in the morning.
Yep. I mean, I'm a little bit tired, but not necessarily sleepy.
I have insomnia. I don't sleep much.
I don't know. I felt like just sitting up and recording, so I don't know.
I recorded some BT3 earlier. It's uploading right now. After something popped up.
Yeah. So, yeah. We just have like just a lot of stuff on our minds, basically.
There's always a lot of stuff on my mind, especially when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
Especially Sonic. I love Sonic. I love the Sonic franchise. Like, really, even if the game was bad, even if it got horrible reviews, I sat down and played it so I can have my own honest opinion of it.
Tell you what.
I don't like only taking other people's opinions.
Tell you what, Sonic Generations 2. Except it doesn't have to be the nostalgia factor. We're not necessarily playing the old stages all over again with like some new coats of paint slapped over them. Instead, do it this way. Now, it's more like a time travel story, so to speak. Now there are multiple incarnations of Sonic from different points in history.
I think they should also... I think one thing that Generations could have done, have you place as someone other than the two Sonics.
I mean, considering you do have racing with Tails and Knuckles.
Like, also, what I was thinking would be a really good idea, which for Generations... If there was ever a Generations 2, something that would have been good. Like, I understand that Shadow and a lot of those characters weren't around back then. But give them their chibi looks. Give them that chibi style that was back then. And so then they can have all the older characters interact with the newer characters of their respective person.
Step it up. 2 villains. Not just, classic Eggman and modern Eggman. Metal Sonic was actually one of the fights that you had to go through in order to get Chaos Emerald. Have Metal come back in.
Give Metal Sonic his own, like, I wouldn't say arc, but give him his own, like, set, like, story implement. But then after you beat it, like, have, like, the incremations of Tails reprogram Metal Sonic to help you.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. Or he could just be the halfway boss, Disc 1 boss, so to speak. And then, well, he has his own agenda against Eggman. And, now you have another character to play as. Metal has his own new set of stages leading to his own confrontation with Eggman. And that's what leads into Sonic's final boss fight.
Leading up to him meeting up with the rest of the people in the final battle.
Yeah.
So in the final battle, you got all the characters facing off against the villains.
That would actually be interesting, like Super Metal Sonic and Super Sonic.
That sounds fucking awesome.
And then we've seen what Metal can actually do with Chaos Emeralds. So
Oh, we've seen. He was made. He was basically forged with the power of the Chaos Emeralds, just like how Shadow was. But he was a lot more destructive because he didn't have a heart.
good God, imagine Metal Shadow. Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the fangasm just happened for just like that's it. That's it.
Oh.
Somebody get me a towel.
Oh my God.
That would destroy the world if those two ever clashed.
Between Metal Sonic and Metal Shadow.
Oh God.
There you go.
And it would take a team of Sonic and Shadow and maybe everybody else in order to actually bring them down.
Maybe.
Seriously.
That's a big maybe.
And see, this is where Sonic being more like Dragon Ball Z would be interesting.
Oh, yes.
And that's what I thought Sonic X was going to be.
Yeah, Sonic X.
Would have been nice. Would have been real nice.
Sonic X is another one of those games that the fan base does not like to talk about. Well, there's plenty of games the fan base doesn't like to talk about.
But going back to my Generations 2 idea, multiple Sonics. Remember, we have additional super forms or pseudo super forms from before. Darkspine Sonic, Excalibur Sonic. And heck, you could actually throw in a few other new ones and actually give them new origins. Instead of maybe they might actually be base forms of they might be whole new Sonics, or maybe they actually get their own alternate look, and then that is their super form.
Or each emerald gives him a different ability and a new look that's basically just like a pseudo super form until it reaches all 8 when he gets to his super form.
Well, I thought about that while I was watching. John play through Sonic 06 again. Like if each Chaos Emerald actually did give you an additional ability, not necessarily an additional form, but like an additional power. Kind of like the gems that Sonic was picking up along the way.
I was also thinking the Master Emerald is the father of the Chaos Emeralds.
Mm-hmm.
What if
Ultra Sonic?
Yes, Sonic to use all of the Chaos Emeralds plus the power of the Master Emerald to give him just the most powerful form to try and take. That's how they have to take down fucking Metal Shadow and Metal Sonic. They have to get those 8 Chaos Emeralds plus the Master Emerald.
You keep saying 8, 7. Lucky number.
My bad. I know I keep saying 8. Why is 8 on my mind? There's nothing. Everything involves 7. Why the hell is there 8? The Dragon Balls are 7. The Chaos Emeralds are 7. Why the fuck is 8 on my mind?
You're counting the Master Emerald, and then you're considering what you're going to do with it, I guess. Seriously. Bring back the Super Emeralds. Like I said, Dragon Ball Z, that bitch. Supersonic, Hypersonic, Ultrasonic. I hope I actually have that order right. But
it will go Super Mega Ultra, right?
Super Hyper Ultra.
That sounds about right. Yes.
Because I don't think that there's I don't think that Mega Sonic is actually a thing.
I was thinking I probably got Mega and Hyper mixed up. You're Googling it too, aren't you?
Yes.
God damn it.
There's a production facility.
There's a picture of Sonic dressed up like Mega Man.
Oh God. Sonic is Mega Man X. Or Classic.
Oh wow, that is really cool. I think for Hyper Sonic, they should do white. lightning.
Yeah, basically like a Super Saiyan 2, except kind of similar to how Goku and Gohan went full power Super Saiyan. And their hair became like white gold.
Yeah. Or it could be kind of like how Vegeta and Trunks went ascended Super Saiyan.
Yeah, but do we really want like a really bulked up, beefy Sonic?
Not in that way, but it's like it's stronger than Super, but they're a bit slower, and it has some downfalls, but has the increased strength.
Okay, I'm just trying to
Oh, hello. Sorry, there's just one of the images on Google is basically it's freaking Sonic with the Mangekyo shotgun gun. Hello, how are you doing? That's gonna haunt my dreams for a little bit. I typed in Megasonic and a megaphone came up.
I'm not entirely sure here, considering hypersonic is actually a form of speed, as opposed to, say, ultrasonic, which would be like ultrasound. Like how they do when they're trying to check on the baby. But it's done at such a high frequency, which means that Sonic would have to be moving pretty damn fast, or he'd have to be vibrating that fast, kind of like the Flash. So I don't know. It just sounds like Ultra would be a step beyond.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought of that since I first saw Hypersonic. I was like, okay, considering how big his spines are now, just step it up. I mean, come on, we ought to see him again someday. I mean, come on, good guy, it's been like practically 20 years now. Come on,
yeah,
bring him back. If you have
honestly,
to,
if they're going to implement those 3 stages of the Sonic, I think they should implement those 3 stages in Silver and Shadow as well.
Well, you gotta introduce it through Sonic first, of course.
Well, yes, but also have it go through them. Like, first implement it through Sonic, but then maybe in the next game have Shadow or Silver get it. Because maybe there's a bigger threat that Ultra Sonic can't handle on his own, and we're going to need, like, Ultra Shadow. That just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Ultra Shadow.
See, now it all sounds like fanfic conjecture, but you gotta admit, that does sound pretty cool. Come on.
Pretty much what we're doing here is basically just speaking out.
Brainstorming.
But it's not fan fiction. It's fans conversing about what could be improved and what would be awesome. Only if Sega listened to us, like Valve.
Oh.
Valve listens to its fans. Why doesn't Sega?
Well, that's the thing. They'd have to screen every harebrained scenario and idea that's brought up by the fan base, because that there are those loud members of the fandom that have like the worst ideas, and
You're
then
about
you
to
have
say family.
Nope.
It sounded like you were about to say loud members of that family.
I was caught between fandom and fan base.
Oh, sound like family. That's just me. But yes, there are those people who have those complete fucking ridiculous ideas that if they got into the game, it would just make the games worse.
Okay.
I don't know how that could happen.
Okay, so Sonic and Shadow are actually long lost brothers. Okay, yeah, and then Nazo shows up, and then all of a sudden Silver shows up, and then Metal Sonic he turns hyper, and then he says that only Sonic can beat him, and then Nazo says no he can't, and then they start fighting, and the Earth blows up, and then Sonic uses the Chaos Emeralds and he flies around the explosion and he restores the Earth, and then he goes like super ultra mega, and then he just easily beats them, and then that's the end of the game.
That pretty much sums up how most people see it.
I was gonna add more to it, but I was like so fired up off of that. I went for it.
That pretty much just sums up a fan fiction right there.
No, it doesn't make
very,
sense.
very bad fan fiction at that.
Could you at least be plausible with it? You know, like say how is odd as it was. What was it? Super Mario Bros. Z. You know, as awkward and odd and crazy as it was, that was a kick-ass idea. If Bowser and Eggman got together, that would be twisted. Now,
that's how they should make a fucking Sonic and Mario game, not this Olympic shit. Give them an actual game.
that was something else I was going to bring up. See, there you go. It makes sense. You don't have to have Metal go and murder everybody, and then it's only Sonic and Shadow left. You know,
that's Shadow's job to murder everybody.
You don't need to kill off everybody else. They can stay at home. Just let the hedgehogs settle it. You know, let them go.
Just let the hedgehogs fight it out.
Seriously. And then all of a sudden, suddenly Silver. But, you know, hey, it's totally fine.
Why not? You know what? Let's just why not? Just throw in Metal Shadow and Metal Silver.
Well, we already have, what was it? Like Eggman, Nega, and what was it, Metal Knuckles in the comics?
Yep.
Well,
in the comics, there's also Super Knuckles as well. Knuckles used the power of the Master Emerald.
See, you know,
me personally, I think that was a bit ridiculous. And that's coming from a big Sonic fanboy right here.
And, yeah, I mean, you keep bringing up the Master Emerald. You know, why not actually have it do something for once? Well, it did do something. It was stealing Chaos in Sonic Adventure, and then they used it to neutralize the power of the Chaos Emeralds in the Eclipse Cannon in Sonic Adventure 2. We mean more than that. Don't just let it be a plot device.
Don't just have it be like the Deus Ex Machina. Give it like an ability. Give it like, make it look like it's basically the father of the Chaos Emerald.
Considering that's how you got the Super Emeralds in the first place, come on. You know, they're trying to make Super Sonic kind of not that game breaking with like the penultimate battle or the final fight or whatever. Well then, fine. Actually, make it look like it's the final fight, but it isn't. Super Sonic gets owned, or Sonic gets knocked out of Super Sonic. It's not enough. That's the end of the first half of the game. Now it's time to upgrade these suckers.
Hell yeah.
And that's where...
Get the power of the Master Emerald to make the Emerald stronger.
So instead of doing special stages, you know, considering they've pretty much done away with them, fine. Do it like Unleashed did in the day sections, where you're taking them to the temples. You know. And then, you know, each of these shrines are connected to the Master Emerald. Turns out the Echidna race was actually all over the place. You know, there were several clans. You know, that kind of expands on Knuckles, too. You know, so, yeah. Then, there you go. Once all 7 have been converted, booyah. Here we go. Hypersonic.
Hell yeah.
And then the fight is actually even. It's not going to be easy. You know, 6 hits and it's done.
Nah, make it even. And make sure it's not a fucking space battle. Literally, almost every 3D Sonic game that involves the fucking Super, it's either a flying or space battle.
Don't make it a short ass amount of hits and then that's just it. Make it a multi-phase battle, please.
Don't pull a fucking
I'm looking at you, Colors, and freaking Lost World.
I was actually thinking about Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh, well, come on, seriously. Colors had the shortest damn final boss until Lost World.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's it? That's all that it... Wow.
That's the final boss? Really? I just beat the fucking game that easily?
When we were so used...
stronger than him.
When we were so used to two-phase bosses at this point. This is how you do it? You know, that's just it? He only had enough power to do that? Sonic is not that damn powerful now. Come on.
Oh.
I mean,
he's seen his power many times. You should have implemented a robot that can finally neutralize Super Sonic.
I mean, come on. Considering how he managed to trap him at the beginning of Unleashed in order to sap the energy out of the Chaos Emeralds, care to do that again?
I know, right? Like, hey, remember the time where you captured me and set the power of the Chaos Emeralds? Yeah. Why don't you do that again? I don't know.
Knowing how the new direction is, that's exactly what that would do.
I don't know. I haven't felt like it. Completely forgot, actually.
That actually makes Sonic into kind of an antisocial dick now that I think about it. I mean,
Sonic is an antisocial dick. He
He was kind of nice about it in Colors. You know, he was kind of okay in Generations. There was barely much of a...
dick. He was alright in Colors, but he was still kind of a dick.
Yeah. I mean, he was cocky.
He was very cocky.
But,
he was like, I'm going to stop you. Ha, I've done it many times.
But then...
Generations, they did it well. Again, back to Generations. They did everything well, except for a couple things they could have done better on.
But goddamn final boss.
Oh my gosh. Final boss.
Also, that other fight, I can't remember which one it was. The crap, I can't remember what it's called. I don't wait. Oh god, all I can remember is it's time for a change of pace. That one.
Why does that sound so familiar?
That was one of the battles in Generations.
Yeah, I know.
I can't
trying to figure out which one.
I want to say Egg Dragoon, but I don't think that fight was like that. Hell,
no, I don't think so. Fuck.
That's it.
Googling?
Yeah.
You still recording?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, Sonic Generations bosses. Which one was this? Because I see the image right now. Which one is that? Yeah, it's the Egg Dragoon.
It is?
I'm pretty sure of it. Because I remember it with the lights on it, looking like Turbo Megazord.
Let me go to Google.
Because the fight is in like this tunnel. And typing in Sonic Generations time for a change of pace shows me Egg Dragoon.
Yes, it is. It is Egg Dragoon.
Haven't even played the game, but I remember that. Because I like the design of the thing, and it actually took a hell of a lot of hits.
Oh, Egg Dragoon was a really good bat. It's a really good fight.
Yeah, it was rather tedious, but it's still like a good fight. And that's how you can do it. The thing that threw me off was when Sonic faced off against Perfect Chaos. He was in his base form. And he freaking beat it. Yeah. So I could see it kind of being, again, like Dragon Ball Z. And his power actually being sustained. He gets stronger. The more times he turns super. The more battles that he gets into. But it just doesn't seem right. I guess maybe the the time disruption kind of weakened Chaos enough for Sonic to actually deal damage. Because he actually looked smaller, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he did.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, mini perfect Chaos or semi perfect Chaos.
Ultra perfect Chaos.
And then that's how they actually wanted him to look. Oh, really?
Yeah, when I first saw them, like, wow, that's Chaos.
I can actually.
That's absolutely fucking terrifying.
I can see them putting like a hide on top of it, on top of the water. That actually does make sense. You know, and then
like, literally, my first thoughts when I saw Perfect Chaos, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fucking terrifying. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to fight that. Fuck that.
Yeah, the Generations mix. Silver? The Generations mix for Open Your Heart was odd. It was very, very canned, if you will.
I can see where you're coming from.
It was all over the place with like the reverb and delay, which that's the thing. It wasn't necessarily Crush 40. No, this isn't the actual fight, so that's why it's not there. Okay, but when you're dealing with everybody else, you don't get like some sort of odd remix. I gotta go back because there were so many versions of his world. People got mad. You know, like really? There's this many versions. Yeah, I suppose because this was in like one particular time slot. You know, around the exact same time. Whereas Open Your Heart has had like 5 freaking remixes. Probably more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, the one with Bentley Jones on the track, the cleaned up version that they did. Then there's the Generations version, and just no, this is too damn many. Stop it.
It's a lot.
Seriously,
it's a lot.
Got it in iTunes right now. You know, just so there's a 2009 mix, the Crush 40 versus Bentley Jones mix, the original one, Generations mix. Yeah, there's probably more than that, but those are the ones that I have. So
those are pretty much the main ones.
Yeah, and that's over time. Yeah, but still, that's a song that had many renditions to it. I mean, granted, with 06, you had the first version, the main version. Then you had the Zebrahead version. Then you had the Crush 40 version. But then you had the Blue World Prelude that was done by Bentley Jones, which is like a portion of the song. And then, of course, you have just the acoustic version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the thing. It's the main theme, and it's also Sonic's leitmotif in the game. That's kind of the reason why it shows up all the time. Oh, but still, while we're in that, Mephiles. Bring that motherfucker back.
Oh, yes.
Give him like another story. You give him like another backstory so that he doesn't have to be part of Solaris. He can actually be another entity. Like this weird shadow creature that was manifest from, like, say, a void in another dimension or something.
Another thing on that type of thing. Another enemy that they should really bring back or give more depth or, like, storyline to? Doom.
Black Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him more of a storyline. Give him, like, have him build up or have him be, like, the sidelines or helping Eggman in one of, like, the Sonic games, and then have him transition into the Shadow game where you have to pick.
Set it up so that there are more villains out there than just Dr. Eggman. Like I was planning in this shadow novelization that I was going to do, which is basically just a damn fanfic. Black Doom was also going to be working with Mephiles. I was going to combine both of their stories, and kind of have them working together. And I'm not entirely sure how I was going to do it, but that would actually kind of give more ground. In essence, Mephiles is a shadow of Shadow. Black Doom has something to do with Shadow. He doesn't necessarily have to be his father. Yeah, he could actually be fuck it.
Have him be basically you know how Robotnik created Shadow.
Yeah.
Have Mephiles be one of those failed creations.
Yeah. Which
is why
he's
he
imperfect.
Hates Shadow.
He's imperfect, but in the sense that he can't maintain physical form, but he's still just as powerful. But the thing is that in order to be that miracle cure, he needs to be in physical form. There you go. So then once he actually manages to snag the Chaos Emeralds, he does gain a physical form, but it's beyond what any of them thought it would be. And hell, why don't you just pull an SA2 and then have him and Black Doom share that, and then he becomes Devil Doom. Or you could wait until Mephiles is beaten and then Devil Doom.
There you go.
See, we just gave Mephiles a whole other freaking somewhat plausible backstory in order to keep using him. Seriously, come on, a character that cool and voiced by Dan freaking Green, you can't just get rid of. I mean,
Dan Green.
Okay, people gave Iblis shit because all he does is just sit there and roar and just destroy stuff. That's kind of the point.
That's the point.
He's the flames of disaster. He destroys. Evil. He's the brute force of Solaris, whereas the cunning and strategy and all that mental stuff it lies in Mephiles. So they're two halves of the same whole. Some people actually didn't get that. That's the whole reason why Mephiles is doing what he's doing. So that he can merge with Iblis again and be whole and actually be more powerful.
Yep.
Hell, Solaris can actually be a villain again. If you did it right. Except for the fact that I don't necessarily want a time travel story.
There could be a lot of really good villains if they're done right, and if they're actually given a story, not just a one-game wonder. Like, the reason why Eggman is such a good villain is because he's been around since the beginning.
Well,
all you gotta do is give them more of a backstory, give them an actual storyline, give them a reason for wanting to destroy their heroes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, Black Doom was basically just conquest. When it came to Chaos, Chaos just wanted to destroy. When it came to
Chaos was created for that.
Not necessarily. Chaos was a Chow.
Well, alright, he was a Chow, but fuck.
He mutated. Pachahama and his men decided to slaughter the Chow and whatnot. Chaos ended up harnessing the power of the Chaos Emerald, flooded. Then you got Dark Gaia. Dark Gaia, destroy the Earth. Light Gaia, restore the Earth. Basically, destruction and creation, cycle, booyah. They go to sleep, they wake up, and they do it again. That's kind of more of it's kind of just more dealing with the force of nature. I mean, granted, you could say the same for chaos, but chaos isn't exactly a force of nature. I mean, he's kind of more of a freak accident.
Yeah, I would say. I can see where you're coming from with that.
And then, well, Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic wants to be the only Sonic. So, that's pretty much it. Because he was pretty much programmed to be Sonic. And be better than Sonic. I can't really think of anything else because there haven't been any other villains. They never tried to make any other villains.
So it pisses me off.
Because it's always Eggman. Like Eggman, final boss, all the fucking time, no matter what.
I can understand why. It's like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But again, like I said, we wasn't on the video, but if it ain't broke, make it better. Well, I said that during
we said that. Yeah, we said that about Pokemon, with like expanding on the role playing aspect.
Yeah, if it ain't, I understand. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it ain't broke, make it better.
If it's something that can be implemented without completely fucking it up, then do it. If you know it's going to be well received, like a massive Pokemon MMO, or the ability to choose to join the villains, or become a gym leader, or a member of the Elite Four, the Pokemon League champion, then there you go. You can set it up that way. It gets boring if it's a single player mode and you're a gym leader and are the champion. Then again, that's when you can actually have randomized challengers. They come in with like these weird teams, and then that's challenge mode. You have to face them. It's a good post-game thing. And then when you're not doing that, you can actually go out and train and whatnot. But I think we'll save that for elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a completely different. We're on Sonic right now.
Yeah, but basically, that's what we're trying to say. If you can implement it without messing it up, and it's what people want, then
do it.
Take a shot. And that's the one thing that I will give Sonic Team credit for. They have experimented with Sonic.
They experimented. They've done more than experimented. They've fucking twisted him. They fucking anal probed him. They shoved things down his throat. They've done anything that any game designer could think of with Sonic.
With Mario, it's virtually the same.
Don't get me started. No, don't ban. My feelings about Mario.
That's how it is. You can't help but mention them in the same paragraph because
I know.
Nintendo and Sega, back then, 90s, two juggernauts, and now shit, Sega slave to Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Shit.
Pretty much.
Well, would have been nice if that Dreamcast 2 actually did get off the ground. And
it would have been nice, but really wouldn't have been able to stand to... Because the Dreamcast was during the PS2 era, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember my game design and theory class correctly, the Dreamcast was during the PS2 era. So if Dreamcast 2 came out, that would have been around the Xbox 360, Wii, and PS3 era.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would have been able to stand up.
Depends on who you have backing it. This is why I mentioned before, like months ago, and as much as I despise it, Sega teaming up with Apple. It's almost the most likely thing that would happen in that kind of effed up world.
No.
Considering you already
No.
have Microsoft going,
No.
trying to go hard, just shoot. Because Apple did actually have their own little thing that didn't take off. So that's kind of what you.
Nothing of Apple stays. Apple can go die in a hole.
That's what you get for trying to step into a gaming for trying to step into the gaming world, son. You can't hang. But
Microsoft chose a good time to step into the gaming.
But
time.
If they actually provide their freaking corporate juggernaut shit in with and even some of their hardware development with Sega's implementation and creative team.
Don't you mean their stolen hardware development?
Either way, their hardware for the most part is actually fairly decent for what it's worth.
Their software is absolute shit.
Of course, and nobody develops for them.
No, they just steal.
Shit, seriously, do you know how much proprietary software that I have to run on this thing?
No, because I don't use Macs.
Seriously, I have to find adapters for every damn thing. God.
Fuck that shit. I'll stick with a fucking PC.
See,
We're all just fucking when I go to college and graduate with a computer programming masters, I'm just going to go work for Sony and develop computer software for Sony. There you go. Think about that.
Seriously, but Microsoft is no better, really. I mean,
No,
seriously,
it's not.
their practices are just absolutely deplorable.
We're going off on another tangent, man.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But just back to, let me reiterate, in like a crazy world, what if Sega actually partnered with Apple to develop a new console?
I might actually get an Apple product then.
Now,
I love Sega.
Let's say that they didn't do all the crazy, okay, now you have this, now you have to buy this other thing in order to connect it with that so you can get the full experience. We already have that enough with the freaking Xboxes. Or like trying to get the full experience with the Wii. Okay, now go get this Wii Motion Plus. What?
What? Why? Because I said so. Damn it.
No, it's just.
Then there's a PS3. Then there's Sony just sitting there like, yeah, here you go. Here's everything for you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
What? Software patch? What the fuck is this shit? Sorry, everybody.
Normally with my Xbox, I had to install a whole new shit and adapt all this. What is this?
Sorry, everybody. We didn't actually implement the PS4 with this stuff at launch. Here's a patch. The fuck?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. At least it was free.
I can see why they did it. Because they wanted to get it out.
Yeah. And like I said, at least it was free. Considering how much you had to pay for that, at least it was free.
Again, coming from a game programmer's point of view, I can see all the logic in that perfectly.
Yeah. And it's not like they weren't going to release patches.
Yeah. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So.
Unlike some companies. Microsoft.
So, trying to patch 06 would be impossible.
Oh, very much.
Nope, that would just be a whole new game.
Telling a dog to walk on water.
Pretty much be a new game. You know what? Here. Sonic 06, debug mode. That's practically what the actual game is, debug mode.
Yeah.
Broken power meter for Sonic. He can freaking space jump infinitely. The fuck is this?
You can already do that.
That's what I'm saying. What is this? What?
Oh my god. Sonic 06 was a mess of a game. But honestly, if it wasn't for Sonic 06, a lot of ideas wouldn't be coming out of a lot of people's heads.
If that hadn't been the bottom of the barrel, Sega wouldn't have tried to aim upward.
Yes.
They had to fail hard.
Me personally, I think if it wasn't for Sonic 06, I don't think we would have gotten what of a great game Generations was.
They wouldn't have actually tried to make the effort to fix what they did wrong and make Unleashed the day stages.
The day stages. Remember, day stages.
Most of the time, whenever anybody says Unleashed in a positive light, they mean the day stages.
Wait, people actually talk about the game in a positive light?
Yeah. Some people actually...
I'm just messing with you. I know.
I know, I'm going with it. Yeah, some people actually do. They like half the game. Eggman Land can suck a dick, but, people actually like...
Eggman can suck a dick.
Seriously, I haven't played it, but I've sat through it.
Time I've heard that. Eggman Land can suck a dick. It's like the 500th time I've heard that.
Seriously,
I completely agree.
There was no point in making it that long. It was nice that they decided for like the final level that you get to switch in between, like the Werehog and normal Sonic, but it overstayed its welcome. Because you've already played as the Werehog practically as much as you played as regular Sonic.
And no one likes the Werehog.
Now, if you actually redid the Werehog in a way that, like, if he had his own game, or if there was actually like bonus modes, or like challenge mode or something, I
said earlier, and instead of a Werehog, just give it like a dark, like shadow form.
See, this goes back in with my whole multiple forms of Sonic. Different Sonics throughout history. And that would actually be one. Except his combat wouldn't be repetitive. He'd actually be able to implement new things to it. I mean, you saw that he could throw. You saw that he could actually do like stretchy punches, and ground smashes, shockwaves, and then like rapid fire combos so he can just blow through everything. A big ass like air dash or boost or homing attack like technique that allows him to blaze through everything, just knock them all over, and then maybe do like a ground slam that does a shockwave. Booyah! Easily done. You don't have to go after wave after wave after wave. Seriously, the first fucking God of War was too damn repetitive. It was unnecessarily repetitive. As much as I liked it, it was too freaking repetitive, and that's the same mistake that you did with the Werehog.
God of War games. They may be repetitive, but they're so much fucking fun to play.
I will agree to that.
See, this is what happens when you leave me in bed, fucking 2:05 in the morning, not tired, well, barely tired, and talking about video games.
Seriously.
How long has this thing been going on?
1 hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say, the last time I checked, it was around like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we've actually been talking for 1 hour and 37, so, yeah. And Beast was just killing it before I started recording.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't want to hit record mid-sentence, though.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so basically...
And you didn't want to mess up my, flow.
Yeah. So basically, going back to freaking Sonic Boom, so we can close this thing.
Right, because that's how this whole thing started.
I don't mind Knuckles' new design.
I do not mind it. Again, if his head was a bit more proportionate. I got the word this time.
Yay.
If his head was a bit more proportionate to his body, and his legs weren't as sleek. Like, his legs really seem like they're just sticks on this giant boulder.
Yeah, they could be slightly, a little bit more broad. Just a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like how he did with his body. Just make it a bit broader. Make it proportional.
It doesn't.
Make his body proportional.
His legs don't have to be the same size as his arms. Say, like, 3 times their size right there and then. And maybe double or triple. And then there you go. Because he looks like he could fall over. It doesn't look accurate. Like,
And then there's
say Vector. Take his design. You see how Vector's built?
Vector, he works that bulky design well.
Wait, hang on. Let me double check right quick before I make myself like an idiot.
I think I have Vector in my mind.
Vector, crocodile, and yeah, I mean, considering his legs are already stubby.
Oh yes, I did have his. I did have the correct image. Yeah, his legs may be a bit stubby, but that's the thing. That's how crocodiles are, though.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah.
So
it's
I mean,
his bulky design fits.
So I'm talking about making him like Vector. I'm sorry, but you know, hey, you can make his legs a little bit thicker. There you go. Knuckles.
But again, his body is proportionate. His legs may be a bit slim, but it works well with how his body is designed.
And how is he going? How is he going to glide? He looks awkward right now. He still can. Heck, he can actually use that as like a freaking flying tackle. It actually makes more sense, especially since, you know, if you played as Knuckles in the classic games, then you know that actually does damage enemies. It makes sense now. I mean, yeah, I want to read that comment that I brought up before. I'm not going to say who wrote it, but you know, still. Let's see. What was it? Oh, I found it. Saying Knuckles is a powerhouse, so it makes sense for him to be big and buff is hypocrisy. If Sonic is fast, does that mean he must have buff and big legs? Or if Tails is smart, does that mean he must have brain pop out from his head? No, they don't. So why Knuckles
Where's
must
this guy
have?
Getting his logic from?
I don't get it. For me, it's taking out his charm. Here's my response. No, that actually makes sense. Look at Big, Vector, and Omega. Those guys are tall and bulky. That's the traditional body type that's defined by power characters in video games. It's like, especially if you're a little kid and you don't really know that, oh, okay, this guy is the strong one. If he's big, you're going to assume that he's going to be the one that can like lift the big boulders and throw them away. You know, you'll assume that that's the strong guy if he looks like he's going to be strong.
Like, I'm going to be honest. When I first saw Knuckles, I really thought he was just going to be another speed character. But that was back in 3.
Yeah.
When the whole traits between, like, abilities weren't really implemented.
Yeah, they were close, but they still had their differences. As you can see in that trailer, which is I wouldn't even call that a trailer. It's a fucking glorified proof of concept. You know, all 4 characters are running at the same speed. I'm going to assume that Sonic is holding back so the others can keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Knuckles can still freaking run at that speed. You have big guys in the freaking NFL that can run fast. So you can't tell me, oh man, this guy's too big. If he was big the fucking cat, then I could understand.
Yeah.
Unless,
if he was like giant, like fucking big, then no, that would not work.
In essence,
how they made him, it works.
Knuckles is still fairly slim, so to speak. You know, he still fits in, and the more I look at him, the more accurate it looks. The only thing
it seems right. Even though, me personally, I'm thinking that the game's gonna suck, I am kind of liking the new design. I am. Yeah. I'm liking how Sonic looks. He looks like he's like an adventurer. He's fast. He's ready to go on an adventure. And Amy, she looks like, hey, she's a ninja. She's stealthy. She's looking to bang Sonic. Tails, he looks like he's the... Sorry, every time I bring up Amy, I have to bring up she wants to bang Sonic. It's kind of just...
Well, the look in that picture certainly doesn't help. And she does like she's actually ready to go out clubbing, too. Which also leads to that other comment that I found. That Amy looks like a slut. She looks like a slut.
I can see it, but also I can't at the same time.
At least you don't get panty shots with this design. Every freaking...
That is also very true. That's also very true. Oh god, that was terrible. But seriously. Yeah, as I was going on with the characters, Tails, he looks like an engineer. He looks like a scientist. He basically looks back how he looked in Black Knight.
Pretty much. And there you go. For those that don't know that Tails is the guy that does all the mechanical stuff, now you know, because he has the goggles and he's got the wrench and the tool belt. There you go. That's what most people assume whenever they see that kind of character. You know, it's like it's prototypical. It's an archetype. You know, to have the goggles and to have the wrench, even if what you are working on actually requires a screwdriver. You can bet the screwdriver's in the tool belt.
Most likely.
Yeah, so this actually fits. It actually makes sense, and Amy does look like an action girl. You know, she looks like she actually can hold her own this time around. Now, if you can fix the Minnie Mouse voice.
Please fix the Minnie Mouse voice.
What the hell was that? I guess it's because...
I will love you forever.
I guess it's because I'm so used to Lisa Ortiz actually voicing Amy. But that sounds like the voice that she should have. You know, nothing
take away
squeaky.
The voice that she had in Sonic Adventure 2. Take away that voice. Kill it with fire. Murder it. Anal probe it. I don't give a shit. Just get rid of it.
Make her sound like...
A girl.
Make her sound like a California girl. No, that wouldn't be too bad.
That seems like that would fit perfectly.
Seriously. You know? Or like a girl from Florida or New York. You know?
I could see a Cali girl for her.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Sonic speaking in, like, a Cali guy accent.
Yeah.
Kind of like how I used to speak.
It makes sense. You know? I mean, considering their attitudes, it completely fits.
As long as they don't give Knuckles, like, this rough, like deep, like, scruffy, dark, deep voice, I'll be fine. I would say keep Knuckles' voice. Knuckles' voice fits. Even with this new design, that voice would still fit.
Yeah. For example, if Dan Green was still voicing Knuckles, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... Shoot, there's a lot of people that I think could probably actually do well as Knuckles' voice actor. Hell, Chris Sabat. You can actually manage to afford him. You know? I could see it. He'd be perfect. Seriously.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I mean, he has a lot of voices, but just imagine the Piccolo voice coming out of Knuckles. That would be freaking awesome.
Oh my god.
Sonic, we've got to get the Master Emerald. Oh my god.
Knuckles, what happened to your voice?
There's nothing wrong with my voice.
My voice gives me super strength.
Oh god. I can totally hear Tails trying to do that.
My voice gives me super strength.
I actually went on my way while I was just sitting there reading comments.
Think about it. Seth MacFarlane, the voice of Tails, using one of his not like super high pitched, but like one of his higher pitched voices for Tails.
Quagmire or maybe Bruce the Entertainer?
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
It feels weird, if you kind of make it serious, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see Seth MacFarlane doing Tails' voice. I really can.
Kind of actually give Tails kind of a southern twang, so to speak.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can think give Knuckles kind of like a Midwestern style. Give Tails a southern, and then Sonic and Amy a western.
Okay.
But not like old western, like California. There you go.
I can actually see
those. I can see.
I can actually see Knuckles with the deep South kind of voice in this design.
I could see it, but not like too deep. Like if it gets too deep, then it would just add on to that. Like, oh, he doesn't really feel more like Knuckles. No, like I would say use a similar style of voice, just lower the octave a little bit.
Well, no, not like yeehaw, y'all. Oh yeah, like my granddaddy used to say, ain't nothing like a good old fashioned ass whooping.
Yo, son, let's go get them Chaos Emeralds now.
Hey, son, let's go get them there Chaos Emeralds. What for?
Give him freaking Boom, the guy. Can't remember his name. Boom something. From King of the Hill.
Boom Howler.
Sonny, let's go get the Chaos Emeralds and all that shit.
Man, that song, let's go get them dang old Chaos Emeralds, man, that dang old, like, Eggman up no good, man, that dang old, that pew, pew, pew.
Knuckles, what happened to your voice? I don't know what you're talking about. My voice is everything. I don't know what you're
See, now that's what they could do with Q-Bot, while his voices were all screwed up.
Oh my god, that would have been great. That would have been hilarious.
So it looks like they finally fixed his voice. Thank you, Tails.
About fucking time.
Yeah. So Eggman can build robots, he just can't program them for shit.
Nope. We're crying out loud. Fucking Sonic would be able to program better robots than him.
Wow.
Oh god, I just pictured Sonic programming an egg robot.
The first thing it would do is go get him a chili dog. In fact, it would actually be a chili dog dispenser.
Yes. Chili dogs sound really good right now.
Oops.
Nah, I'm too tired to eat.
I had chicken wings and french fries. Wingstop.
I had ribs and pizza.
We had pizza earlier in the week, and then we had Chinese food, and then we had just no.
I think we should end it off now.
Yeah, because we've gone on for almost an hour and 30. It's an hour and 23 minutes. So, if anything, I might actually split the audio in half. Who knows? Yeah. But, there's so much that could be done with Sonic.
We could go on a lot more if we really wanted to.
And I don't mind them experimenting with Sonic just as long as it's a solid idea, a consistent idea for an experiment.
As long as they don't pull another 06, I think I'll be able to stand it.
Yeah, no rush job. Take the time that you need. Make sure everything's implemented properly. And
make sure you have the budget that you need.
And have a freaking decent story for it, even if it's something basic. See, I'd rather have a basic story than a fucked up story.
Honestly, if Sega of Japan, since they're working on a main story game for Sonic, I would not mind if they went back to the basics, but not too basic, not basic
Sonic 4, Episode 1?
No, I'm thinking more basic Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2. If you understand what I'm saying there.
Oh, you mean like the multi-character kind of thing?
The multi-character, but not with those characters. Like I was saying,
not with
like,
those
with
mechanics,
Sonic, Shadow, and Silver.
not with those play styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get you.
And take the story, but not make it as cheesy as that, and make sure the final battle's not in fucking space! Sorry. Pisses me off.
Well, they've only done it like 3 times.
But it's always the super battles. That's either flying or in space.
Considering that's how Supersonic operates in the first place. Seriously.
I understand that.
The Doomsday.
Give it more of a...
The battle with freaking Perfect Chaos. The battle against Perfect Dark Gaia.
Alright, instead of just having the super forms be a final boss, have the super forms be a stage and then a boss. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Alright. We've gone on long enough.
Yep.
Time to end it.
So, that's pretty much all that we have to say, without, sounding like a broken record or going off on another random ass tangent. So,
like we normally do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, I would actually hope that, I do hope that the game actually is good and that it actually is well received.
We all hope that for every Sonic game. Alright. This is 1beastrap signing out.
And I've been VanTX89. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you later.
Deuce.